Which do you prefer, hot or cold weather?
I am someone who definitely prefers warmer weather. I like when it's sunny and dry. A weather that allows me to take a long walk. I don't feel like doing anything when it's cold. The cold sucks all the life out of me. It makes me lethargic. I just want to cuddle up in bed with a warm blanket and not go out at all. I couldn't imagine living in the Arctic, for example.
What kind of climate does your country have?
I would say my country is a warm country. It's not summer all year long, but it's almost always sunny. It doesn't rain that often, but when it doesn't rain, it pours. We even get snow in parts of our country, so there is something for everybody, I guess.
Does the weather affect your mood?
I would say it does. I noticed that when I left my country. Since we are so used to the sun, we don't know what it means to not see it for a long period of time. What I mean by that is that the sun is not hidden by the clouds. When I moved to a country where it was cloudy for the majority of the time, I noticed a lack of energy in myself. It was really crazy.
Would you like to live in a tropical place?
I actually lived in a tropical place, and my answer is 100% yes. I would love to live in a place where it's warm all year round. There is something beautiful and relaxing about the fact that it's always going to be sunny and that it's always going to be warm. I lived in Dubai for a year, and I can say it was one of the best years of my life. I really loved the fact that I could wear t-shirts outside no matter what month it was. Warm countries are a heaven on earth for me.
What do you like to do on a windy day?
I like to stay indoors. I can tolerate rain and snow, but what I really cannot stand is the wind. I really don't like when it's windy. I really hate it when I have to go out and do something when there are strong winds.
You will have 60 seconds to prepare, and then you will speak for between 60 to 120 seconds. Start speaking now.
I want to talk about an older guy that lived in my neighborhood. His name was Florian. He lived in my neighborhood for a long time before I was born. So I have known him since I was born all the way up until the moment he died. I would say that he had the perfect personality. Now what I mean by that is that he used to be positive all the time. No matter what was happening to him or in what situation he found himself, he always had a smile on his face. I heard that he had a tough childhood, but despite of that, he was always filled with positive energy. Maybe he learned during his childhood that he should confront issues without stress. Whatever the case, whenever I saw his face, it had a calming effect on me. I interacted with him several times a month. Especially during holidays, there was a tradition in which I would go to his house for the Christmas holidays. He always welcomed me with a smile, and he would offer something to eat. He would often talk about what was happening in the neighborhood, as well as what was happening in the country. He had a good understanding of his environment, and his perspective of things was really insightful. I always liked listening to him.
In your opinion, what makes a good neighbor?
Somebody who minds their own business. In other words, someone who lets you have your own privacy. Somebody who doesn't create unnecessary problems. Somebody who is willing to find a compromise if an issue arises.
Do you think that the neighborhood where a person grows up has an effect on their development?
I would say absolutely yes. I think our neighborhood has a huge effect on us. The environment that surrounds us has a great impact on us. We will adopt the behavior of people with whom we interact on a daily basis. So it's really important to be in the neighborhood that has good people. If we are surrounded by bad people, well, that doesn't need to mean that we will also turn out bad, but it will certainly have a negative effect on us.
Do you think that people who live in smaller towns interact more with one another when compared to the people that live in the cities?
No, I don't think the people from smaller towns interact more with one another, or that they are necessarily closer to one another when compared to city people. I really think you cannot see a clear distinction between the neighborhoods in small towns and the ones in the big cities. It all depends on the type of people that live in those neighborhoods. The only difference between these two types of neighborhoods is that the city neighborhoods are louder.
What is the best way to improve the communal spirit in a neighborhood?
I would say having positive traditions is the best way to improve the communal spirit. For example, for national or religious holidays, the people could gather together to make food, or they can just gather together to talk to one another. These gatherings, no matter what initiates them, are a good way to bring people together.
How should one handle a disagreement with a neighbor?
You should go to the neighbor with a smile and a calm tone. Explain what your issue is and explain in a nice way what you would like to be done. If the neighbor is unwilling to listen to you, then it's their problem and not yours.